Wow. Oh, 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 oh. Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Who is it?
Wow.
Ricky Craven. A bad crash here at Talladega. Just a very, very bad crash. Mark Martin is involved. So is Rusty Wallace, Brett Bodine, Elton Sawyer. One car overturned in the banking of turn number 1, got up into the catch fence and came back onto the racetrack. I don't know who it was. It's going to happen up front with Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin running side by side.
Okay, Martin goes a little high there. Gordon gets into him. They both have to back off, and then the jamming up starts. And they get into the wall on the outside. Others start jockeying around. There's Derek Cope. He thought he got through that for just a moment, but Mark Martin's going to come right back up in front of him. And is that Ricky Craven?
Yes, it is.
Ricky Craven in car number 41 that's flipping over, went up against the outside wheel fence, back down on the track, and was hit again.
Yeah, he got hit again as the car was rolling toward the apron of the racetrack. So Ricky Craven, a few years ago.
Yes, it was. Okay, here they are. Gordon trying to go on the outside of Mark Martin. They make a little contact, and it sort of shoots Martin out into the wall. Then Gordon comes up, gets tagged, and spins around. And Ricky Craven right in the middle of it. His car gets airborne. You can see it flipping up to the outside wall, just coming apart, and then is hit down on the inside by Elton Sawyer.
Jeff Gordon in 32nd place. One lap.
Whoa, there you go. There you go. This is it, guys.
Jarrett, Nemechek, Jeff Burton, Mike Skinner.
It's
One
over.
car hard up into the wall, joined by another.
And they just keep wrecking.
And the hits keep on coming.
And the big hit was Joe Nemechek. Brett Bodine on fire. Leaders will have to race back to the caution flag. Here comes, I think this is Sadler again. It is Elliott Sadler.
Yeah, but here comes Gordon right back here behind him.
Yeah,
coming off turn 4.
Car right there. He's trying to get his lap back as well. Elliott Sadler looks like he will accomplish it. Jeff Gordon will not. And I don't think Michael Waldron, you mentioned it, Darrell, had a problem giving that 21 car lap back. Not going to give that 24 car.
Dale Jarrett is moving around inside the number 88. He's going to climb out. Todd Bodine is out. Brett Bodine. He owns that car in that race team. And of that number 11, there is little left. Matt Kenseth is involved. Heavy nose damage. But I'm worried about Joe Nemechek. That car hit the turn 1 wall with tremendous force. There's Mike Skinner.
That's Dale Jarrett. Jarrett's out, and he's looking over the car, and there's
Martha Nemechek, Joe's mom.
Last night, Martha was celebrating Joe's victory. Tonight, she's in tears.
I don't know. Whoever got down the apron got turned.
Mike Skinner has come to rest.
Had a good run going there. See Bobby Labonte. All kinds of damage to that car.
And Brett Bodine's out of that car. And the good news about the Joe Nemechek car was they were attending to the car, not to the driver's compartment. So we can presume from that Joe's okay. And here's Mike Skinner moving around. And the face of Martha Nemechek, remember, she lost a son in a race car crash at Homestead, Miami. Lost her younger son, John. But the window net is down on Joe Nemechek's number 25. And that's always a sign that we believe he's gotten out of the car. We'll await confirmation. Joe Nemechek is out of the car. Brett Bodine is out of his car. The wings will be extra crispy tonight.
This starts by somebody getting crowded down on the apron here. Oh, Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett goes down in front of the 21 car, wasn't that? Oh, no, that was the 99 car. Oh, man, you're right, Mike. Nemechek took a hard lick. Then the 4 car.
Saw the lick that Brett Bodine and 11 took there in front of Joe Nemechek.
Steve Park.
Look at Blaney in the 77 all the way down on the apron, along with Jimmy Johnson in the 48 as well.
Nemechek gets hit once and then Straight up and into the wall. The drivers call it the big one. White flag under green. Next flag will end the race, and Newman is there.
Newman's got locked onto his rear bumper just like he did. Oh, wrecking behind Chase Elliott around.
Spinning around.
Still green. Still green.
Still green, and here they come.
And here comes Blaney.
Ryan Blaney up behind Ryan Newman, trying to get him to Hamlin.
Newman backed up to Blaney. Big run coming here.
To the inside, Newman to the front.
Nothing Denny Hamlin could do. What can Ryan Blaney now do? Here comes a push from Denny Hamlin. Oh, this thing's not over yet. Not at all.
Ryan Newman off turn 4 for the final time. Blaney to the outside, to the inside. Here comes Hamlin up the outside.
Wow.
Crash into the wall, into the air goes Newman.
Upside down.
In a shower of sparks on his roof, Ryan Newman comes across the line, 4th, and comes to rest. Scoring unofficial between Hamlin and Blaney as far as who crossed the finish line first. Newman got turned, went up in the air. As he came down, was hit by another car and launched skyward, coming down on his roof. The AMR safety team is there quickly to attend to Ryan Newman. Here is a look at the last lap. Denny Hamlin out in front of Newman and Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney gets to his rear bumper. Nothing that Denny Hamlin can do other than try to tuck right into the rear bumper of Ryan Blaney, which he does an excellent job of. Newman gets a pretty good run to the turn 4, but now here comes a huge run by Ryan Blaney being pushed by Denny Hamlin. He tries to go to the outside, then the inside. They lock bumpers and turns Ryan Newman around. Upside down he goes. Corey LaJoie coming along, making contact.
Just lifting Newman's car up and
getting chased
And
a
from
little
a
bit.
bad crash over in turn 2, Michael Waltrip has hit the wall hard. The car is upside down, and you can see the car is really torn up. Well, Jerry, I said it's sort of on its side, or boy, yes, it is upside down.
Michael Waltrip in his car having hard contact out of turn 2. We'll check in to see what's going on. The safety crews over at turn 2 after this hard contact with the guardrail. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this. Turn 2, Michael Waltrip's car begins to slip and slide on the outside and contacts the concrete wall nearly head on. The car is sawed in half by that concrete barrier there. One of the most spectacular and violent crashes I have ever seen, Jarrett.
Jerry, I've been involved in auto racing for more than 30 years, and I don't remember ever seeing a car torn up this much.
Did you notice just momentarily he hit that brake pedal? It's a lot easier to just touch that brake than let off the gas to slow that truck down. Jeff's staying up high going in the corner. He's not following the truck in front of him. Don't know what's going on there.
Whoa! Oh, look out! We got trouble. This is going to hurt.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Yep.
Keep your fingers crossed.
And it was so good for so long, it turned into so bad so quickly.
We'll be back to see what happened, and as I said, keep your fingers crossed, folks. We're at Daytona. Now, for those of you who have tuned in and wondered, wait a minute, why is the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on ESPN2 at this hour? This race was supposed to be over at 1:30. Well, a 10-truck pileup on the tri-oval in which Jeffrey Bodine was injured with a fractured right cheekbone and had fractured right wrist, right elbow, big toe, and possible ankle fractures. And this is how it all happened, Benny Parsons.
About the 6th or 7th place there. There's Jeffrey Bodine, bam, in the outside retaining wall, and watch as he tumbles down the straightaway. Now, again, right, another truck is going to come along and hit it here. Watch and listen.
3 wide behind him. Crossover. That's Austin Hill in the 21. Big crash. Up and over. Caution is out. That's Myatt Snyder.
Looks like he's moving around, winning that down. That's a good sign. I believe Austin Hill's got this.
And the leader, Austin Hill. But keep this in mind. We freeze the field when the caution comes out on the final lap. So NASCAR will have to review to determine who was leading when the caution came out. And we'll do everything we can, all the video we have available, to make sure who was leading. Was it the 21 or 16? And it's great to see Myatt Snyder climbing from that race car.
Again, these race cars are so safe. You just gotta give it to NASCAR once again for the safety provisions they just enforce consistently on these race cars. It's nice to see him walk away.
We saw it coming. That top lane was going to have a huge run. We knew the 21 was going to get a big run. The top lane typically on the final lap gets that big push, and I think he is the winner.
First career victory. First start in his rookie season. It's Austin Hill who gets it done at Daytona, and here's what happened behind him.
That's just a bad scenario. Once you get turned around backwards, if he doesn't get hit in the front end, it probably doesn't get airborne, but it's just you got that other car wedging underneath the front to get the lift there. But it's great to see, like Chad talked about, the safety innovations of these cars. You know, to see Myatt just walk right out, that's a great sign.
And I would be anxious to see how close it was at the time of caution, because look right here, it looks like the 16's out front. Whew, it had to be really close.
Yep. The caution wasn't out at that point when they left our screen, so he was clearly ahead by the time he left the bottom of your monitors on television. But unfortunately, Anthony Alfredo getting into the back of the 31 and creating that issue.
Wow. I mean, look at that car.
And look at the grass that's flying in front of him.
Where's the engine?
Oh,
wow.
The engine's gone. I mean, this kind of like a Michael Waltrip wreck that we saw at Bristol, where it's just, or the Jeffrey Bodine, right?
Kyle Larson front straightaway here at Daytona years ago.
Well, he's getting a nice push from him. Oh, trouble. Harvick's around.
Oh, got spun on the backside by the 43.
How many is it going to collect? Oh, what a vicious crash. Eric McClure. Headed to turn 3 on the back straightaway. So it looked like a net had made a move to try to go up the middle. Yeah, it looked like he was getting a push, and he was going to try to make this happen. That hole closed up. As you can see, as Kyle Busch went over, Brad Keselowski tried to go over. That was Joey Logano that was behind a net. Yeah, it's like I said, everybody's trying to go to the front, and those holes close up so quickly. You can see the safer barrier deflect tremendously when Eric McClure hit it. Thank God it was there. Yes. You can see just past this, there is no safer barrier. All that is just a
excitement here. Saturday, late in the race, Eric McClure. Watch in this wreck. He's in the 14.
Man, I don't understand what happens here, Chris. He comes flying to that wall. You look at the speed.
No, I do.
It looks like he never lifted off the gas.
No, but the 15, he and the 15 car were trying to get through that wreck.
He's in 7th place now. watch him struggle with that stern wheel. That'll tell the tale.
Oh, trouble for Junior. Couldn't hang on to it. Into the wall. Caution's out. And the field slows immediately.
Well, he did have his hands full, that's for sure.
As he was getting lapped by Ryan Newman.
Got up in the gray marbles or dirt or whatever you want to call it up there.
And Ashley was just trying to go faster than his car was capable of going, trying to keep up with Ryan Newman. On board with it.
Watch when he gets up just a little bit too high. Hear the wheels spin. That's because I lost grip.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car being towed back in. NASCAR officials will have a look at it. And obviously, Junior taken to the infield medical center. We'll get an update on that as soon as possible. And there is Dale Earnhardt Jr. going to get the trip. You see him buckling himself into the helicopter to go get further checked up.
All that happened on lap 2. And now, under caution, Juan Pablo Montoya has crashed and gone aflame.
Holy cow, what happened?
We just got a report that he was complaining about a bad vibration in every gear.
No, Larry, he just slammed
into the jet dryer.
I think he slammed into the jet dryer.
They're trying to clear debris off the racetrack, and the car brakes, won't steer, and he slides up the track and into the back of that surplus helicopter jet engine on a trailer used to dry the racetrack.
Larry, Mike, I saw sparks coming out from the car as if it had a tire down or something. What an incredible turn of events. I've never in my life. Oh my gosh.
And all that spilled jet fuel found something hot to ignite it. Safety workers quickly on the scene. And this is a bizarre twist to this Daytona 500. Down in turn number 3.
Well, I've seen a lot of things, but I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. That fuel is just running right down. That thing's full of fuel. They keep them full all the time. I just wonder what it's going to do to the racetrack.
Well, here comes the fire crew. You see the red truck bottom of the screen. They've got to get that out because that fire could damage the racing surface.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, you got fuel, it's on fire. It could eat that asphalt right up.
It is commonplace for track safety, rescue, track drying vehicles to circulate the track under a caution flag. Drivers must maintain reasonable speed while catching up the pack and avoid those emergency vehicles. They're brightly lit and everything. That's easy to do when you can be under control of your race car.
I just wonder if Montoya was going down the back, catching up with the field, and he didn't know the safety truck was up there. They called him on the radio and said, "Watch that safety truck," and the car darted hard right. Something had to happen.
I saw sparks underneath. The car broke, and I don't believe he had steering control.
I don't either. I mean,
the car went up the track.
When you see the sparks come out from under the car, it just looks like it had a flat tire or something happened to it. I don't know how many gallons of jet fuel that thing holds, but I guarantee you it's got several gallons in it. Several, probably 100.
Track personnel exited that cleanup truck very quickly after the collision and walked away.
That's got to be eating the track up. I just wonder what it's going to do to it, Larry.
Yeah, that fire's been burning for quite a while now.
And let's reiterate, Juan Pablo Montoya climbed from his car and walked quickly away. The car destroyed. He is all right and trying to get what is now a jet fuel fire under control, blazing in turn number 3.
But Darrell, I keep going back. We just had gotten a report They were telling me in my ear that Montoya had a bad vibration in every gear he was putting it in. So something was going on with that 42 car.
The race has been red flagged. That means the cars have been stopped well away from the turn 3 scene. They've been red flagged on the back straightaway. And you're looking at what happens when 200 gallons of jet fuel meet a spark, or something very hot after a collision like that.
Yeah, that thing just burst into flame. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Still trying to get it under control.
And you know, I would say maybe they could drive it down off the track, but if you look, the driver's door is caved in. I don't think you can even get in the vehicle if you were brave enough to try it.
Now, we've just had pit stops. Everyone from 5th place on back has stopped. Dave Blaney did not pit under this caution, along with Landon Castle, Tony Raines, and David Gilliland. They are the race leaders as we are under the red flag. Blaney driving for the Tom Baldwin Jr. team. Castle with a brand new ride, and Raines, who just got a ride a few weeks ago into the Daytona 500 with teammate to Gilliland at Front Row Motorsports. They are the race leaders under this red flag for a bizarre incident entering turn number 3. When Indy 500 and Monaco Grand Prix winner Juan Pablo Montoya went down the back straightaway, something on the car broke from the sparks underneath, lost control of the steering, and slid up into the trailer that held that jet helicopter engine, which was blowing debris off the racetrack while we were under caution.
You know, as far as the drivers that pitted, Matt Kenseth in the 17, who had been leading, he won the battle off pit road. I mean, that car is destroyed.
Look at Montoya's car.
More fire trucks going to the scene. Now, that's the front of the race car. It hit the trailer, which went up in the air, and the race car pretty much submarined underneath it.
It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Watch Montoya's car on this replay as we try to discern what may have broken.
No brakes.
Oh,
Thank God he's getting out of that baby.
Oh my God, thank you.
Oh. Say a prayer, Mark. Yes, sir, buddy.
Let us all.
Well, we have had a major crash here at Talladega right in front of us, and the car that gave us the biggest scare was Mark Martin, and we can only breathe a sigh of relief to see him get out of that thing, because he was without brakes and went a long way, hit 2 guardrails in the process, and finally came to rest against another guardrail and a catch fence. Others involved include Todd Bodine, Jeff Burton there in the number 8 car. Boy, let's take a look at what happened.
Here we see Todd Bodine. He's going to be involved. Now, Jeff Gordon comes down. They're going to get 3 abreast, and Todd Bodine doesn't know that. He gets touched by the 77 car of Sachs. He goes down, hits the 24 car. Sachs, the 8 car, spins, and look at all these cars behind. They got no place to go. Watch Mark Martin. He's hit someone. He has no brakes.
Hits the inside retaining wall, and then he goes out of the picture, but he goes through another. We'll see it here. Now watch him. He hits the inside retaining wall. That's the car up in the middle of your screen. Hits the Die Hard 500 sign. Shoots through a guardrail right here. Goes right on through it. Mows it down. Still at top speed, and hits another fence and then the guardrail, and finally comes to rest.
He had to be going 100 miles an hour when he hit the end of that guardrail and then went over to the second guardrail where he finally came to a stop.
That was a wild ride, and thank God he got out of there.
Man, oh man.
There are only 2 cars here in front of us that appear to be disabled besides Mark Martin. That's Bodine and Burton, and there was Mark Martin getting out of the car. He appears to be injured, possibly a little bit, but certainly good to see him get out of the car. Let's take a look at it again.
There we see Todd Bodine. He gets clipped by the 77 car. He and Jeff Gordon get together, and then now there's no place for these other guys to go. Rudd's involved. There we see Rudd going to maybe he didn't have a whole lot of damage, but man, I tell you, Martin looked like he was running two.
The car up in the middle of your screen, hits the Die Hard 500 sign, shoots through a guardrail right here, goes right on through it, mows it down, still at top speed, and hits another fence and then the guardrail, and finally comes to rest.
He had to be going 100 miles an hour when he hit the end of that guardrail and then went over to the second guardrail where he finally came to a stop.
That was a wild ride, and thank God he got out of there.
Man, oh man.
There are only two cars here in front of us that appear to be disabled besides Mark Martin. That's Bodine and Burton, and there was Mark Martin getting out of the car. He appears to be injured, possibly a little bit, but certainly good to see him get out of the car. Let's take a look at it again.
There we see Todd Bodine. He gets clipped by the 77 car. He and Jeff Gordon get together, and then now there's no place for these other guys to go. Rudd's involved. There we see Rudd going to maybe he didn't have a whole lot of damage, but man, I tell you, Martin looked like he was running 200 miles an hour going through.
I'm telling you, he
didn't
sure
slow
did.
down a lot.
The badly battered car of Mark Martin is pulled back to the garage area, and there's very little left in the front end of that machine. There are the cars involved in the crash. Todd Bodine, and also Loy Allen, Jeff Gordon, and Jeff Burton. And that's where his car, Mark Martin's, came to rest.
And you see, they're trying to put back up a chain link fence. Is that a brand name, or is that the type of fence? And I tell you, Martin looked like he was running 200 miles an hour going through.
I'm telling you.
And there we go. No! Steve Grissom with a horrible crash and fire on the racetrack.
It's knocked the gas tank out of the 41 car. That's what we see blazing over there. Is I think the gas tank is over against the wall.
This is at the end of the backstretch. Greg Sachs has stopped over there, but the ambulance is on the scene very quickly. The driver involved is Steve Grissom. Just tremendous impact with the wall at the end of the backstretch.
That is not where he made contact with the wall, but I think that would be the gas tank, folks.
I think it,
have to wait and see.
Yeah. There's not much you can say at this point, except let's just hope and pray that Steve Grissom is okay. The fire crew also quickly on the scene. They have that fire extinguished already. You can see the angle of the wall there at the end of the backstretch. Here is a replay.
And we see him back at the very end of the screen. Right there. Right there is the white car. And Spencer sideways, and Steve Grissom trying to dodge Spencer. Just all of a sudden, boom, and look at the car go up in the air. That's the Mike Skinner car.
Yep.
Mike Skinner and Steve Grissom tried to dodge Skinner. I mean, the 23 car of Spencer. And look, there's the gas tank.
Yes.
Hang on a second. I'll show you this gas tank, folks, as it goes across the racetrack. Right up there is the gas tank.
And it makes contact. It impacts the wall and then splits open, and the fire begins.
I think other cars will go through there, and the exhaust is going to ignite. There we see that car. That's Mike Wallace's Spam car. Goes through the gasoline and ignites it as it goes through.
And there is Kenny Wallace as he goes through also. May have made contact there with Grissom's car as it still has not stopped rolling or pirouetting. And the wall just, and there is where Grissom made contact with that inside wall, and it split it right in two in several places. So they continue to work to get Steve out of the car. Here's the Pennzoil copter cam shot.
And there we see Grissom. There we see the gasoline. Look at all that gasoline when it ignites, when he hits the wall. And there we see Mike Wallace go through, ignite the gasoline.
Wow.
That 97 has shown to be fast, very fast.
And what's at stake for him here? He's
trouble.
Contact on the backstretch. It's Mike Waltrip and now Brian Vickers. Robbie Gordon, 31. The time. Waltrip's over. 1, 2, 3 times for Michael Waltrip.
Well, there's the big one right there. Took a lot. There's a lot of good cars right there. Is that Sterling Marlin in there?
40 cars in it. That's Michael Waltrip's car, upside down.
And when you're in a situation like that, you are just a passenger, especially when these cars start turning each other. Here you see, looks like Johnny Sauter slid up in the 30 car into Brian Vickers in the 25. A chain reaction.
Yes, that's Michael Tuckins. Yes.
And Biffle, the pole sitter, looks like he barely got through there.
So you see the tire come off of Michael's car, then it got into that grass softened by the rain, and it just dug in, just like we saw Ryan Newman's last year and sent the car over.
There's Harvick, Kevin LePage, Johnny Benson.
That's us, guys. 25 got into us. That's us.
Robbie Gordon's view.
Robbie didn't have such a good time of it.
Man.
That looked like yesterday.
We're done. My car's killed.
And that's inside Michael Waltrip's car.
And Michael's probably
getting out.
Getting out of the car now.
Michael is crawling out of that thing. Good. Listen to the huge applause that Michael gets as he gets out and waves to the crowd.
It's a good sign.
Take the stretcher and put it back. We don't need it.
Flags just in front of Mark Martin. Here comes Sterling on the outside past Earnhardt as they go into turn 3, and you see the 28 car of Ernie Irvin, just behind him Dale Jarrett.
Presley was back there in 10th spot on those shots that you saw. Now back with the leaders. Earnhardt on the inside and Sterling Marlin outside.
And Ernie going with Earnhardt down on the inside. That's going to hit. Oh, he touched trouble.
Terrible crash. Front of the field all torn up. Earnhardt's car destroyed. A major crash. Sterling Marlin taking off the gloves. Earnhardt's number 3. Head on into the wall at 190 miles an hour.
He almost got upside down. That car got very high off the ground.
Ford Burton there, you can see the very top of his car. It's moving again on its own power.
Brett Bodine involved again, it looks like.
There's another car resting just to the inside of Earnhardt's that's absolutely gone. That is the Marlin car. Whole side gone, front end bashed in.
Kenny Schrader.
Craven getting back underway.
Kenny Schrader was involved. Wally Dallenbach was involved.
Wow, that was frightening.
A tremendous hit on the Earnhardt car. Sterling Marlin looking over number 4, which is just down the track on the inside about 75 feet.
That car wasted.
That
totally
car
wasted.
Gone.
That good car that's won so many races for him. Dale Earnhardt still in his car.
Earnhardt fighting for the lead going into turn number 1.
Greg Sachs.
Greg Sachs' car has been collected in this wreck. 29 cars going back toward the garage area, but we're watching here with all of you as they administer to Dale Earnhardt.
This is the crew watching on TV, just like you guys are. They're watching to see what how Dale is in the car.
Just hoping and praying he'll get out of there on his own in a moment.
70 career wins for the 7-time Winston Cup champion.
And they're going to cut him out of the car. 5-time winner of this race, Dale Earnhardt, has crashed and crashed as hard as we've seen him crash in years since a knockdown he had at Daytona in practice with the Grand National car once. Sterling Marlin walking back down the track toward the pit area. They continue to clear the track. That's Craig Sachs out of his car. Derek Copes, number 12, was also collected in this wreck. Derek wasn't here for the first day of practice. His dad had suffered a heart attack and he had gone home at that time. He was back here and running well. Richard Childress looking on, the car owner. And Dale Earnhardt is coming out of his car. And Earnhardt is on his feet. Dale Earnhardt attempting to walk to the ambulance. Never, never doubt that cliche about Dale Earnhardt. One tough customer gives the thumbs up as he walks away from one of the worst incidents in his racing career. Let's join Mike Joy down on pit road. Mike?
Larry McReynolds is here. He's holding hammer and body tools, waiting for this race to get restarted to fix the right front of Ernie's car. What happened?
Well, you know, obviously it was hard for us to see, but it looked like we was on the low lane, and it scared me to death because I seen Ernie all the way down on the apron. So he had his left side wheels down, so there was he could not go no further. And looked like Sterling just come down on us, got us in the right front, and unfortunately him and Dale Earnhardt come out on the raw end. Hate it happened, but you can only go so low on this racetrack, and you know, you can lift, but if you lift, you get passed by a whole freight train. So we got a little right front damage. We'll fix it on this pit stop. It's going to cost us some track position, but we just do the best we can. Still got a lot of racing to go.
After that brutal accident, it seems inconceivable that Earnhardt walked to that ambulance. Let's take a look at what happened to Dale Earnhardt and the rest of the field here in turn one as they battle for the lead. Ned?
Well, you can see Earnhardt is leading. Ernie Irvan trying to pass the 4-car of Sterling Marlin, touches him, shoots the left front of Marlin's car down into Earnhardt. Earnhardt into the wall, and then since they were at the front of the pack, lots of other cars came along and got involved.
Earnhardt rolling over in that incident. Another angle.
Boy, as close as you can see, Earnhardt's car gets upside down.
The car. You saw Stuart Biffle. They're running third and fourth. Back further, though, this is Jeff Burton. He's going underneath the 99 of Carl Edwards.
Boyer gets that spot back from the 2. See if he can hold it this time.
He's sliding up the track. Here comes Kurt.
Here comes that 2-car again.
Keep the camera.
Look at Jimmy.
Yeah, right there. We could keep both these battles in this shot. Great job, guys. Down the stretch. Look out. Trouble. Kurt's into the wall. Boyer's in it as well. And Kurt's getting the worst of it.
Like a little bump drafting going on right there. We're trying to gain the advantage. Looked like the 48 got into the back of him a little bit.
Boy, he almost came back out onto the track right there. And there is the view as Kurt takes the wheel off.
Man, look at this car.
Oh, man, further back, Elliott Sadler. And look at this. Gosh. Engine is out of this thing.
Oh, my God.
Well,
that's the whole suspension. It's like the front part of the front suspension.
The window net is down for Elliott. He's got the helmet off already. That is the best news.
You can see he
is in some pain. Oh, man. I hate to see this. Look at the front of that car.
The engine completely out of the car. I can't remember the last time I saw one like that.
Kurt has climbed out. Well, I have to be honest with you. The last time I saw it was back when we were covering drag racing. And it's not a pretty sight when they have that happen over there either.
And Kurt took a hard look also.
He's walking under his own power. But right now, Elliott Sadler, we have a red flag situation as Elliott did climb out of the car himself, but he has laid down right on the straightaway there. And the medical crew is there already. And just think good thoughts, folks, because that was a heck of a lick.
It has to be a situation of Elliott getting maybe clipped from behind as all of this was taking place in front of him.
All right,
hitting that little inside part here.
Let's go back.
Here's what Andy was talking about. The 48 was right on the 2. Looks like he might have got into him a little hard and turned him. Yeah, he was trying to help him pass this 33 car from Boyer, but yeah, that went bad there. That's a hard lick at 180 miles an hour. You know, and then Boyer tags Kurt Busch. There's where the front wheel came from, maybe off of this 2 car. Yeah, there it comes loose. And then Kurt takes a pretty hard lick here on this inside wall. We've been talking about the safety, you know, or lack thereof, on this back straightaway at this track. I mean, it's, you know, the grass is kind of a situation that's really hard to deal with when you have these cars getting off into it.
It was a situation that track officials were addressing this weekend. They're talking about putting catch fence along that straightaway. Let's take another look at it, and also putting safer barriers on the inside of this wall.
You can see Boyer was trying to side draft a little bit at the same time, so there wasn't any room for any error there.
I'm still trying to figure out, well, how Elliott Sadler got into all this. On board with David Ruderman.
He gets a good view of Kurt Busch.
He makes it through.
There's the tap right there. Yeah, it wasn't intentional on Jimmy's part, but definitely that's what caused this, was that contact from Jimmy's front bumper.
Kurt, talk to me. All right, buddy.
Okay, let's, we think we've seen an angle. Check the lower right of your screen.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Hey, look at that. Head on into that arm cut.
Chad Lilly up there on the top of the racetrack. Now here comes Michael Waltrip in the 21 car.
And Kenny Wallace.
Despite the problem on pit road, that 81 car is still running well. He is.
Oh, and Earnhardt gets dirt. Elliott hard in the wall.
Major crash here on the front stretch. A car upside down. That's Bill Elliott. And Dale Earnhardt was on his side as he came down through the tri-oval. A major crash here at the tri-oval. Car still.
We see a wheel rolling across the racetrack. Knocked the wheel off somebody's car.
And that is exactly what we were talking about. When the cars get bunched up.
And oh, man, what great news that is. That's Bill Elliott taking his visor up. He's taking his gloves off like he's in the garage. There comes John Andretti. And look at this car.
Oh, my gosh. And a fire burning there in the engine compartment. But we saw from the in-car camera that Bill Elliott was moving around. Let's take a look at the replay of what happened when the cars were here right before they crossed the starting line.
There's Elliott. Ward Burton gets in the side of Earnhardt. Just touches him. Elliott in there on the roof, sliding across. We see Chad Little going down, hit Michael Waltrip. The 3 car gets banged from Jerry Nadeau, I think.
Wow. A scary moment here at Talladega. Again, we take a look at Ward Burton making slight contact with Dale.
Oh, and Bill hit that wall so hard.
Marlin closes in again. Just about like running an event in a pizza oven, and there's been...
And there's a spin. There's trouble.
Car upside down. Schrader. Schrader's number 25, side over side, end over end. Another car in trouble and also getting airborne.
Terry Labonte is involved. His car spinning around on the grass. There is Elton Sawyer spinning around. Rusty Wallace there. There's Lake Speed. There's Rick Mask.
Bobby Labonte is up against the wall. We'll take a look and see what happened in a moment. They're racing back to the line as they come to the stripe, getting through it. Earnhardt is okay. Marlin for second. 30 comes across next. Michael Waltrip. Jeff Gordon getting through it. He's okay.
He was right at, Jeff Gordon was right there where it started to happen. I don't know if he was involved in the happening of it, but he did get on through. There you see Bobby Labonte's car that's up against the wall.
Clean stop, guys.
Bobby Labonte's number 18 pressed up against the wall. Morgan Shepherd, Kyle Petty, and they had to pick up that debris. They set a record back at 120 of 179 miles an hour. That was with Gordon in the lead. The old record was Cale's way back in 1978 at 178. And there you see Schrader's car absolutely destroyed.
Well, he took a nasty roll.
There was so much happening, couldn't see it all. 500. Here you see Gordon in the 24.
Okay, he comes up and clips Ken Schrader, his teammate, and sends him around. Schrader's car going backwards. The roof flaps are up, and then he gets hit by Ricky Craven. And then that flips the car over.
He just drove in under him and turned it over.
And then other cars coming back with all the smoke and people slowing down. They start hitting each other, and lots of cars getting involved as we see Schrader's car continue to roll and tumble on the grass.
Wide, Rusty Wallace goes 4 wide. Here they come.
Earnhardt is off pace. He might be running low in gas.
Dale Jarrett trying to get through. He's moved into a battle for 3rd position.
Earnhardt apparently is running out of gas in the turn.
He's shuffled way back. Here they come off the 4th corner. Ernie Irvin leads them down now. Is he going to win the Winston 500? Jimmy Spencer is second. They come through the tri-oval. Checkered is waving. Ernie Irvin wins, and Rusty spins and gets airborne and flips wildly right at the start-finish line. Very reminiscent of his accident at Daytona. What a way.
Yeah, he's moving. I see him moving around in the car. I saw it there. We see his head moving around.
Yes, we do.
Thank God.
Now here is what happened.
Okay, there's Rusty and Dale Jarrett running side by side. Earnhardt comes down on the inside trying to draft Rusty and go right out of the picture, and it looks, there he is. Earnhardt right up on the back bumper of Rusty, and he does touch him.
That's
and
why
around he goes, and that's one reason that Dale Earnhardt went down there.
That's why he was so concerned, because he touched Rusty Wallace to start this situation, it looks like.
And the car overturns about 6 or 7 times, pirouetting on its nose, end over end, side over side, comes to a rest on its wheels between the start-finish line and turn 1. He will be credited with 6th finishing position. Here is another angle.
Here they come down through there. Jarrett and Rusty Wallace side by side. Dale trying to get down on the inside, trying to go down. And looks like he just touched Rusty, and the car, just like Daytona, started flying. It goes up in the air. I thought maybe it was going to do like Jimmy Spencer did last year and come back on its wheels, but it didn't. It caught. And here it goes again.
There is a huge cheer going up from the grandstand just opposite of where Rusty's car has come to a rest, and we assume that the cheers are because he is out of the car, or at least they can see that he has received no serious injuries.
Now, we talk just like we saw yesterday. You worry about a driver mistake, a mental error. But yesterday we saw a mechanical problem that caused the big one.
Right. Johnny Sauter running fourth, cut down a tire. Trouble, turn one. Hard, a car in the wall. And spinning down to the bottom. It's going to be 10 or more cars involved. Johnny Benson. Lap 4. Here they come to the flag, and everybody pretty much out of the throttle. Mayhem in turn 1.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. Want to check. He may have been involved in that. There he is right there.
I think he made it. He was so far in the back, Larry. I think he made it through okay.
Little bit of damage to his left front. There you see Ryan Newman in the 12 car.
Casey Mears, the nose of his Dodge torn up as well. And Hermie Sadler has crashed out of this race.
No dreams today for Hermie.
This was his very first restrictor plate race start, Hermie.
Jeff Burton on the right, Casey Mears on the left. Darrell, there was contact and one car shot up. Hard hit to the outside wall. Flames erupted. And everybody piled in.
Well, let's see if we can got an idea about what happens here.
Darrell, I believe the 12 car, Ryan Newman, looks like he was out of shape, maybe starting to get loose by himself.
And Newman almost flipped over.
Remember, he had that hard crash at Daytona where he got on his roof at back in February.
I can't imagine that there wasn't some sort of contact that started that, because that looked so violent. Man, that car was almost on its top right there. It hit that wall a ton.
Rusty Wallace, his teammate, the 2 cars involved.
As they come through, watch for the last 2 cars, which I believe, there's Earnhardt Jr. up high getting through with Schrader and Tony Raines. Jr. and Raines are the last 2 to get through from Rusty Wallace.
That was Ryan Newman's tire right there bouncing over the fence.
There's Dale Jr. right there. Look at him.
I think he got just a little bit of damage on that left front.
Let's ride with Dale Jr.
Yeah, right there he got in the back of the 30 car. Can't see a thing. Look at that.
And this is the camera, but remember, he's seeing the same thing out that windshield.
Except his windshield doesn't clear like this one.
Schrader got into the side of him a little bit, and he got a little damage to the front when he got in the back of the 30 car, but otherwise I think he's going to be all right. I'm not so sure that Mark Martin in the 12 car didn't make some contact.
Man. Tire went completely over the fence, outside the racetrack.
Did the Jimmy Horton.
Is brought to you by Chevrolet. Wherever there's a winner's circle, we'll be there. Welcome back to the Food City 500. Under caution with 75 laps to go. Let's show you what happened down the front straightaway. Robbie Gordon and Ward Burton got into it.
Those cars already damaged from being in accidents earlier. Ward was only 1 lap down. Difficult to drive, and they get together there, and Ward loses control. He's headed for the inside wall here, and then he hits the inside wall, and the momentum just carries him right back up, and there goes Kyle, who I'm sure was hustling, trying to get clear of that. Those 2 cars just get together, and that's the loosest part of the racetrack. It's a hard lick on the inside wall. Man. I'm sure Kyle was all drawn up knowing that here comes Ward. Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Ah.
Watch this lick right here, though. Kyle Petty on that outside wall. That's a hard lick.
Yeah. Now, I want to give a call to our cameramen. When you have accidents that start out with 1 hit, you follow the first crash, then the next crash, then the next crash. Those fellows are carrying the bills for us today.
It's all happening in a hurry.
Yep. And they're all multiple incidents.
times today where I think these drivers, spotters, everybody figures the car is going to go down the racetrack, but it's going up, and a lot of people's getting in trouble by trying to go around them on the high side.
Of 16 cautions and all the crashes so far, the only cars that are not back in the race are Dale Jarrett and Kenny Schrader. So it is unlikely that Kyle Petty or Ward Burton will return in the 72 laps that remain.